The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Hello. Welcome to Be Fit for Health. This is Bianca, your host. I'm really excited to be here today. Today is our first show. We are airing on Sunday at 10 a.m. and I want you guys to join me every week for your updated news and also any health, wellness, and medical questions you may be having. I'm going to try my best to answer with my special guest that I'll be bringing on. So, today I wanted to discuss a little bit about what's going on with our current events. And before I do that, I wanted to introduce myself as to who I am and my background and what really brought me here. And to be honest, I've been doing this for about 30 years. I've been in the fitness industry and a health coach and mentor and teacher to a lot of personal trainers. And I certify trainers with any NCEP fitness, and it's a national certification like NASM. And I'm the only one here in Hawaii that does that for trainers. So my extent of education and experience is here with you guys, sharing what I know, and I like to be able to educate you and empower you with information as well. So let's talk about some health and wellness. Health is a body that's free of disease and pain, and wellness is the action potential of health. So if you exercise, you sleep well, you get good nutrition, all that good stuff, your body should be relatively healthy unless you have some genetic issue. With that being said, for me as a trainer and a health enthusiast, unfortunately about 15 years ago I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and fibromyalgia is an autoimmune disease. It affects your nervous system and it causes your body to have pain. And occasionally I will have flare-ups if I'm under stress or if I have any type of physical something going on with me. And that flare-up usually feels like the flu. You may want to stay home. You feel like you need to sleep more. It's really debilitating. And for a trainer, can you imagine? I love training. I love working out. I love to be physical. And when I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, that really basically set me back. It really made me think about what's really happening. What have I done to get this, And sometimes it's genetics, and sometimes it can be some life-altering situation. Mine, I think, was stemming from an emotional stress. And, my father passed away about 15 years ago, and that emotional sadness triggered whatever was going on in my body to come up in front of everything that's been happening in my current situation. So, my heart arrhythmia also came up. I have PVCs. I look healthy. My producer's looking at me going, what is going on? I look healthy and I sound healthy, and I am healthy to the most part because, I'm going to educate you guys with how to keep your immune system up and your health going. But I do everything right. At least that I know that I do everything right for my body. And I figured out my formula. And I want to be able to help you figure out your formula. And this is why this show is here today. And moving on forward for the next Sundays, I want to be able to educate you with some of the things you may need to know to help you with whatever's going on and to help you with your doctors. Because, as we all go and look at our doctors for answers, sometimes our doctors can't give us all the answers because they get to see us for 20 minutes out of their day. And in 20 minutes, they can't really figure out really what's going on with you. They have to really spend that time to do some research to figure out your answers, right? So they try to fix it with some medication. They Band-Aid it. They kind of hold you over for the next visit because they're trying to keep you going. And God bless them for doing that because they work really hard to keep us all as healthy as they possibly can. And then it's up to us, isn't it, to have that education too, because we're living in this body. We have to do what we can to keep our health in check. And that is taking responsibility and also learning what is best for our body system. So with that being said, and going forward, we're dealing with this epidemic, the coronavirus. And, I'm no expert. I'm not a doctor, but I am a health expert. And looking at what's out there in the news, everyone's afraid, they're getting anxious, and they're getting, stressed out about whether or not they're going to get this virus. What are they going to do if they do? Are they going to die? That fear isn't good for you either. Sometimes I tell people just turn off the TV for like a day, maybe take a break, walk away, get outside, sit out in the sun, take a breath, and just, relax, because when you're stressing out, I'm going to get all geeky on you guys again. When you get stressed out, your body produces a hormone called cortisol, and that's not good for you, because what that does, it puts you in the fight or flight program. And when you're in the fight or flight program, your body can't really do what it needs to do. It's always in this fast-paced, anti-aging realm. So your brain needs to focus on helping the body heal, and it can't focus on healing the body if it's focusing on being chased by a bear. I know that sounds funny. Fight or flight, your body can't tell the difference between whether you're really physically being chased by a bear or if you're imagining being chased by a bear. So, your brain has to focus on, what's happening with the system. And if it's focusing on the fact that there's some kind of emergency going on, it's the last thing it's going to focus on is healing parts of your body that needs to be healed. So it's really important to keep track of your thoughts, your emotions, and try to control that as much as you can. Stay positive, watch funny movies, be with your family, laugh a bit more, listen to good music, do things that's going to de-stress your system. And this is really important. Why am I getting to this point is because health is about also the state of mind. It starts with your thoughts, and your body believes what you think, even to the cellular level. And if you think about the cell is a mini-me version of you, and there's over 1 trillion cells in your body. You want to think about, okay, how am I affecting my system? And that all starts with what you see, and it all starts with what you're thinking, and then the next thing is what you're putting in your body, right? And so it's really important to get a grip on what's going on in our situation, what can we control, and that's what you should focus on. Because the things that you can't control, honestly, there's no solutions to that. And you can only do what you can do, right? So, when it comes to your body and your health, wellness is an experience. And wellness is something that you can do. And that is all the things that I was talking about. It's lifestyle changes. And, you can control what you eat. You can control how much sleep you get, unless you have a sleeping disorder. And that's a different situation. But some of the things I'm talking about is a general average scope. It's not the particulars. And we can get into the particulars, but that's not my expertise because I am not a doctor. So let's talk about how do you boost your immune system so that we can combat things like the coronavirus and other flus and colds that's also going around. There are some people that got the sniffles. The wind is blowing. People have allergies. That also affects your immune system. You get the higher temperatures, you get the sniffles, you get the coughs. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have the coronavirus. So we need to focus on how do we boost our immune system. And remember that your body is very resilient. When I was in pre-med and I was studying the human body, and the more that I studied the human body, I found it, oh my gosh, it's very resilient. It can do a lot of things on its own. I always have the saying, you give the body what it needs and the body will do what it's supposed to. And it's so true. The way that our body is structured, the way that the cells communicate with each other in the nervous system, the way that the brain communicates with the body, it's very resilient and it can do a lot of good. So give it that opportunity. So when you look at how to boost your immune system, I'm looking at 3 steps. But before I get into the 3 steps of what you can do, I want to talk about what happens when you actually get the virus in your body. What does your body actually do? And it's basically coming into a situation where your body gets infected, and then your brain gets a signal, and then the brain goes, okay, guys, we need to start recruiting and getting our front lines in order, the T cells, the B cells, the killer cells, and then from there, you're going to be getting into the nervous system getting activated, and from there, your body will get into a priority fight. So that fight will consist of, basically going after those viruses, getting them, killing them. And by doing that, you're going to get an immune response. And what the immune response looks like is fevers, sniffles, coughs. You're looking at maybe some chills. It's your body telling you to slow down. And when you slow down, your body gets a chance to do what it needs to do to repair it. So, yes, we can take medication. Yes, we can stop the symptoms, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get rid of the virus. You need to let your body do its job. And the fever happens because there is a note out there that says that higher temperatures actually kills viruses, so about 133 degrees or so. So for me, I've been actually doing infrared light. with heat, and that seems to help a bit as well. Infrared light actually penetrates the heat deeper into the system, so you're able to get more of that heat in the body, so you can actually fight and build up your immune system. But infrared light also helps with, just like the sun, boost your T cells, and T cells is what you need to fight and combat the viruses. That's really important. So, take a look at also, as far as what else you can do to boost your immune system. Having those symptoms gives you an idea, my body's working well for me. Okay, well, let's look at a couple of things. And I just want to make sure that we're still good on time. Okay, so number 2, I want to go into your diet. Let's look at what you can eat. And let's take away the sugars, guys. Sugars is poison. Sugar is in everything in our food, and it's really imperative because sugar actually debilitates your body's ability to boost the immune system. It actually downgrades it. So you want to kind of eat things more on a natural base. You want to eat your fruits. If you want something sweet, eat a fruit. Things that are not going to contain too much high fructose, sucralose. You want to eat things that are a natural level so that your body actually understands it, simulates it, and uses it for nutrients. It's really important. You want to stay away from fake foods. What is fake foods? Processed foods. Stay away from those canned goods, things that are in packages, things that are basically in the center of your grocery store. You want to make sure that you're consuming more foods of the natural basis, things that are grown in the ground, things that are made from trees, and things that are made from, bushes and things like that. If you're going to eat protein, make sure they're good quality protein, grass-fed, grass-finished meats, because with red meat, you can either get it as an omega-6 or you can get it as an omega-3. Omega-6 can cause inflammation in the body. Omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. So things like salmon is anti-inflammatory. It's an omega-3. Even red meat can become an omega-3 if it is properly grown protein like grass-fed, grass-finished. That's a given. So where do I know that from? I'm also a holistic nutritionist. So I certify people in holistic nutrition. So this is my biggest pet peeve. I try to get people to understand the differences of food and the quality of food and where it's grown, because you could be eating food that's technically saying it's organic, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's organic. It has to be certified. And there are agricultural farms out there that are certified, so you just got to look for those. Also, another thing is fermented foods are really good for your body. And they were just saying with the coronavirus that kimchi is really good to combat coronavirus, because there is a bacteria in kimchi that actually is specific to fighting this particular virus. So all of you out there that love kimchi, we're all good. Those who don't even know or don't want to try it, give it a try. It's pretty delicious. Another one is really good as fermented foods is sauerkraut, raw sauerkraut. It's really good. I think Costco sells it. I believe Safeway or Whole Foods and those places sell it. That's also very, very good for you. Anything fermented, yogurt's good. If you can get non-dairy yogurt that has some bacteriums in it, you really want to work on your microbes in your gut, because the family down there in the gut is important to be fed, because you want to be able to combat any of the other types of ailments like the bad bacteriums, candida. You don't want to get fungus. You don't want to get any of these other things in there that may cause your immune system to go down and not function well. Plus, you want to be able to absorb your foods. Your gut's important to be clean so that your nutrients is absorbed through the small intestine. Yeah. So another thing that's really good to keep up to boost your immune system is ketones. What's ketones? Ketones is produced by the liver, and usually ketones become much more apparent in the system when you have a lower glycemic index in the system, meaning like if you do a very low carb diet, like ketogenic diets. Ketones are produced so that you're now more fat fueling than you are fueling from the glucose, from the foods that you consume. So when you're fat fueling, it's more sustainable. You have more energy for a longer period of time. Your body uses fat as a fuel, so therefore ketones are in the body, but that also helps boost your immune system and also helps boost the T cells again. Those T cells are very important. They're part of your front line. That's what gets you healthy again once you get sick. So you want those T cells to be taken care of. And ketones also activates a product called gamma delta T cell helper. That's the T cell specific. And it's really important to understand how your body works so that you understand what you need to do to make it better. Okay, the next thing is sleep. That's a given. 7 to 9 hours by the experts. They say that is the most crucial amount of time to get sleep so that your brain regenerates. It's like, shutting down the computer and then turning it back on. You need to shut it down sometimes so that your computer works and functions well. The same thing with your brain. You need to shut down that brain so that it actually regenerates and gets back to being healthy again, because without sleep, your body can't function well either, and either does your immune system. Movement. This is my area of love. So exercise, right? And I'm not talking like hard exercise. I'm talking more like 20 minutes of some type of vigorous exercise. It can be fast walking. You can be doing maybe some squats in place. Make sure you're just doing something that's going to get your blood flow going, because you want to be able to move things around. You don't want things stagnant in your body. And if you sit around for too long, that doesn't help your body to remove any waste and toxins and things like that. So it's really important to exercise. Plus, it also helps with endorphins. When you exercise, you release endorphins, and that makes you happy. And talk about stress, you need to stay happy. So really quickly moving on before we take a short break, I want to say sun is another good thing. Sun gives you vitamin D and also energizes the T cells. And last thing, keeping a positive attitude. So let's stay happy. Let's stay focused. When we come back from our quick break, I'm going to talk more about the immune boosters, and we're going to talk about also a couple of other factors about your immune. But before we go into the quick break, I want to talk to you guys about the Honolulu Club. This is my other job, guys. I'm actually the fitness director for the Honolulu Club and the health director. I want to say that, we're hopeful that we'll be opening up in May. Cross your fingers. And if we do open up in May, they're going to offer anyone who refers a person to the club and that person joins, you get a 1 month free membership. Now, this is only for May, and they're doing this because they know you're going to need some place to work out, and you're going to need some place to be distressed, and you need a workout routine to be updated again. So we were going to offer you for this month 1 month free if you refer a friend and they join. So make sure that they are clear with that, because we want to make sure that you guys get your best workouts in. You need to contact Jeremy at he's the membership director at the HonoluluClub.com. So with further ado, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Free month of Netflix, free month of Hulu, free month of Honolulu Club. What? That's right. Sign up today at Honolulu Club, Hawaii's premier athletic, social, and business networking club. And they'll give you the month of May for free. Honolulu Club offers state-of-the-art fitness services with Honolulu's top trainers and amenities. It's time to get ready to look your best this summer. Log on to HonoluluClub.com or call 585-9626 for more info. Honolulu Club, Hawaii's premier athletic, social, and business networking club. Sign up today.
All right, we are back. Okay, so let's finish up. The last thing I said was positive attitude. That makes a big difference in your body's ability to process things. Again, the mind's an amazing thing. It can't tell the difference between something physically that you're doing and something that you're thinking. And to be honest with you, there was a study done in Cincinnati where they had a few people, I'd say 30 people get together, and they had half of them physically work out, and then they had the other half visualize themselves working out and really visualizing the workout. And from there, they did a test for about 3 months, and when they came back, they showed a significant increase in muscle tone in obviously the people that worked out, but they also saw like a 10 to 15% muscle increase in the people that didn't work out but just visualized it. So what does that tell you? It tells you your brain is very powerful. It perceives things and thinks things are real, especially even when you're thinking about it. So your thoughts are powerful. Remember that. In the times of stress and fear and things that are going on around us, you are in control of the way you think, and take control of that. Make sure that you keep yourself at a place where you're happy and you're protecting yourself by being in a place of peace. Yeah. Okay. So moving forward, let's talk about immune boosters and what some of the experts, and I agree with this because I'm also working with a supplement company called USANA Health Science. They are a pharmaceutical grade supplement. They are about 93.6% potent, meaning that most of their supplement is filled with nutrients and not fillers. And that's a big deal. So when I can't get to food, I'll pop in some of my vitamins and minerals, and that basically is like my food. It's that good. So I know that vitamins are crucial for your health, especially for someone like me with fibromyalgia, because my body processes things really quickly. So I need nutrients all the time. So if you look about immune boosters, supplementation is one of them. Vitamin C is known to fight free radicals, right? Because it's an antioxidant. Higher levels of those are good for you for a short period of time. So is vitamin D3. You get that from the sun, but you also get that in supplementation, and that's really good for fighting viruses as well. You want to look at vitamin A. And there are also amino acids that you can take, like glutathione, and that's the master antioxidant. And your body actually produces that also in your liver. But when as you get older, you don't produce as much, and that's the problem. So you need to actually take in that now orally so that you actually get some of that into your system as well. Now, if we look about some of the herbals that I take that works for me, now some of these aren't scientifically proven to do certain things, but it does make me feel good, like Echinacea and Goldenseal. Y'all know what that is. Licorice root is like a binder for the Chinese medicine herbalists. They usually use licorice root a lot in a lot of their prescribed herbal medications because it's really good as a binder, just like zinc is with us. Like the zinc itself is used for a lot of things for our immune system, right? Licorice root is also used a lot in Chinese medicine. So I like licorice root, and I usually put that in my tea as well. Elderberry. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a fruit, and it's used a lot for immune system as well. I use oregano oil. I use the gel caps, and I take that once a day. That seems to help with my when I'm about to just get sick or I feel like I'm getting a sniffle or something, and it usually just cuts it right out. And that's for me. You know, I find that these are some of the things that I like and some of the things that I've researched that, you know, across the board, a lot of doctors and a lot of other specialists like, so they feel like this is really, really good as far as, you know, taking for your immune system. The last thing is biohacks. What is biohacking? It's just getting into your body and doing things in a non-traditional way. One can be infrared light. This is just something that I do. And infrared light therapy is really, really good for penetrating the heat in a deeper level into your system. Infrared's also good for a lot of anti-aging. They use infrared lights for a lot of different modalities. The heat itself also was told through different medical journals and different other research panels that I've gone through, ScienceSearch.com. They're talking like, you know, higher temperatures actually kill viruses about 133 degrees. You know, I'm still on the fence about that. I don't know if the temperature itself is correct or not, but they're saying just higher heated temperatures usually help with killing viruses. And maybe that's why we get a fever, right? Or we get a fever to break and kill and, you know, at least combat the virus infection that we have in our system. Another thing, just to let you guys know, we have a very intelligent system. And if you let your body do what it's supposed to do, our body will respond in the manner that will help us in the long run. So if you get a fever, a cough, sinus, fatigue, all those symptoms that are coming up, know that your body is working and it's doing its job. If you feel uncomfortable and you need to get out and do your work and you have things to do, yes, by all means, please take whatever the doctor prescribes for you or you know, the medications you need to take, of course. But, you know, if it's not too severe and you're able to, you know, sustain the symptoms, let your body do what it's supposed to do. It's very smart. It knows how to take care of itself. And also just remember all the other things that you need to learn about that, you know, weakens your system: poor diet, no sleep, no movement, toxic load. Toxic load could be from your medications, your environment, things like that. Or if you have chronic inflammation, like I do. If you have chronic inflammation, that could also weaken your immune system. And that's something that you need to be mindful of, and you need to work closely with your medical professionals to help you get to a place where you can get healthy again. Okay, so a couple of places that you can go to do some homework, because every time I talk, I want you guys to go and do your own research and homework, because like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm a health coach, health professional. So go to ScienceDaily.com or PubMed.gov PubMed.gov. These are science-based research engines where you can type in things like oxidative stress and diabetes or heart disease and things like that, and you'll have like a slew of medical journals written out. And if you can understand it and read it, please do your homework in places like that. Google's great, but there's a lot of, if I can use our president's theory, fake news. So if you go to Google, just know that you might get some truths, but not always the whole truth. Okay. So before we end this segment, I wish you all good health. I'm going to bring on my expert to our show. She is incredible. She is someone that I adore because she's been saving me a lot with my nerve pain. I go to her whenever I need a tune-up. Her name is Kelly Nash Montone, and she is with Microtoxicology. She does Electro. She works with a machine called Electro, and it is a machine that she uses, a medical device. It's FDA approved, and she is a technician for them, but she's also an educator. She trains other facilities to use this machine to help their patients get to a place where they're able to function again, whether they're rehabbing or they had an injury, like a shoulder injury, and they need to do physical therapy. But along with her treatments, they've actually improved much quicker. She's also worked with horses, race horses, and they're used for their injuries as well. So she's worked with kids. So it's not just for particular types of people. It's for everybody. I'm very excited to have her on this show. Kelly, are you on?
I am here.
Ooh, yay. I'm excited. Yes, I can hear you perfectly. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good. So far, so good. Hey, welcome to the first show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
So,
what a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, I always tell people, you're not going to know what's available to you unless someone tells you. And so right now I'm telling everybody that you exist. You're here. You're available. And
I appreciate it.
Yay. So please tell me a little bit about who you are and, what you do exactly.
Well, I'm from California. I've been living here in Hawaii for about 12 years, and I became a technician for an electroequiscope in 2013. I am a microcurrent electrotoxicologist, and what I do is support other medical practices with this instrument that complements healing the body by putting the body in a state to heal itself by itself. And it's absolutely fantastic. I've been using these instruments for over 20 years personally, and now, about 7-8 years. Went through the certification process and completed the course of certification through Thorpe Institute of Integrated Medicine. And it's been a life changer for me to watch individuals get their optimal health under control and using their vehicles, these human bodies. And as you said, the horses and animals too can benefit from this, any living creature. So this therapy does exist, and I am here to promote what I do and would love more clinics, more practitioners to be using this in their facilities to really benefit the optimal healing of their clients, patients, and people or veterinarians, with the animals and your pets. It works on any living creature. So it is a miraculous device.
So,
really.
How does this machine actually work, and how did it come to be actually?
It works really fast. It's artificial intelligence with computers. It's a focus. If you've, the background of it, the history, the science of energy medicine dates way back to, first century AD. Times are still kind of being tried and placed. But then after that, I think it was the ancient Europeans that used to stand on electric fish and eels. They would step into the shoreline to get leg pain symptoms, helped with this energy and electricity. So the type of electricity has transformed with technology, and you can find a lot of these documentaries online and the science behind it, how it's really relayed to where we're at now in day and time with building immunities, and how we are an electrical being before we're a chemical being. That is our nature. And it really took off in the 1930s with the Rife machines, using frequencies and these charges, changing electrical patterns. Then in the late 60s with the Melsock and Wall gate control theory, working with the nerve gate, preventing pain. In the 80s, they're, applying to skin, increasing the ATP, which is our adenosine triphosphate. It's in our cells, which holds and stores energy. And later in the 80s, there was science backing microcurrent being effective for back pain. And in 1991, there was a Nobel Prize won for the cell membrane, which we have these voltage sensitive ion channels, which I know that sounds kind of funny, but where our cells actually will open to be receptive. And with that at hand, the developer ran with that idea, who also created the missile chip guidance microchip technology. So you sit with that, you combined those two together, and he drives right into the cell where if it's an abnormal, damage, or cell that's not resonating healthy, can actually change that potential. So that's what's happening in all of this electrical stimulation that's happening, and it's this instantaneous rate of exchange with we stimulate, and then we get that response from what's going on in those tissues, and it sends a corrective signal, and it's happening so fast with these little tiny, small, more than microcurrent. That's a millionth of an ampere. We're using trillions of an ampere, where that cell membrane actually is letting us come in and pump it. If you think about like a rechargeable battery, our cells can be like rechargeable batteries. Being this electrical being, we can just charge them back up, give them the energies they need so that they can flow and operate and help us with pain management or with damaged bones. It's working everything deep down, tissues, ligaments, muscles, fascia, everything in between, and we're this conductive.
So even the brain, right?
That's holding all of it, and it works the brain. It can even work emotions. It's got everything that connects us to be whole, and it direct functions for optimal health, and it's really, really amazing.
Yeah, I find it really interesting that we can, in this type of technology, and you said it was a missile technology that came from NASA, correct? That we can actually use something that's so specific to something that's so small in abundance in our system that works, like you said, effortlessly and so quickly that we can actually regulate and see if it's on a right frequency and put it into a right frequency, and then let your body do the rest.
And we need all of the frequencies. We need to be able to transition between all of the frequencies. There's not one that is better than others, and maybe for your specific being, it needs to stay on a low frequency, or it needs to really dive through and get to this high frequency. So depending on the cases and to each client, that is a beauty of the sessions that I run and how I train, is that it is specific for each individual. And going back with a little bit of the history, the Eastern philosophy and the Eastern medicine that has already had success for thousands and thousands of years, dating 5,000 years back, accessing that flow of energy and balance, you want to call it chi or prana source, and getting those trigger points, acupuncture points, pressure points, meridians, and utilizing that philosophy with this Western technology. We just see nothing but success after success of breaking through and really breaking up what has been damaged and repatterning, if that makes any sense,
yeah,
to
absolutely.
what's been, not being able to hold a charge or storing the good energy.
Hey, Kelly,
It's phenomenal.
Can you hang on for just a quick minute? We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and find out more about how this machine can be used on specific issues and how that may work and so on and so on. So hang on tight. We'll be right back.
Free month of Netflix, free month of Hulu, free month of Honolulu Club. What? That's right. Sign up today at Honolulu Club, Hawaii's premier athletic, social, and business networking club. And they'll give you the month of May for free. Honolulu Club offers state-of-the-art fitness services with Honolulu's top trainers and amenities. It's time to get ready to look your best this summer. Log on to honoluluclub.com or call 585-9626 for more info. Honolulu Club, Hawaii's premier athletic, social, and business networking club. Sign up today.
Okay, we're back with Kelly, and we're talking about the electrostethoscope. It is a microcurrent machine that works with our body and helping us heal faster than we normally would. And Kelly was just talking about a little bit about the history and, the relationship and how, this has been around for a while. But as far as this technology is concerned, it's been around for how long, Kelly? This particular...
These instruments have been out since the early 90s.
So it's been out for a while.
I think, and the developer had an earlier instrument that was a microcurrent device. So the microcurrent umbrella is pretty expansive. I mean, there's TENS units. If you've heard of TENS, it's a very big word out there. It's on Amazon. You can get them from anywhere from $5 to $40. There's these transcutaneous nerve stimulation devices, and there's a really broad umbrella of it. So there are a lot of modalities, and this one is just blows them out of the water with the technology that it is using. So, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, it's good.
There's a long history of the electrical stimulation kind of ways, and we are, as a team, I like to use intelligent bioenergetics as their devices are very point specific, and their trainings are very point specific with the science that backs all of the protocols. And I highly recommend utilizing these instruments over any of the other ones that are more of a hit or miss kind of stimulation, where this is actually you're reading. When you're recharging a battery, it gives you the lights, whether it's a quarter of the way, halfway, or fully charged. Right. And that's what this device gives us, and lets us know that cell potential.
So basically, like if you were testing my back out and you put the probe on me and you're measuring right now the frequency level of that particular area to see if those nerves are functioning. And if you get a lot of the red lights, that means that nerve area is not working at its optimal level. So you're trying to get me to more greens, meaning that the frequency is up to the level where it should be so that the nerves are conducting and working together synergistically, correct?
Yeah, communicating together. And what it actually is measuring is the resistance that is going through the pattern that we're seeking, whether it's plates or probes at that moment, that it's measuring what's resistant. So that's what it's going to scan and seek for, and it's going to break through and create a flow, where once the energy is flowing directly to and through, that's where healing really starts to take place. Because when our body is damaged, the natural flow is to take ease and go around, right? But if we're not getting the blood through it, it's not healing exactly where it needs to be healing. So that's what it's, and we want those green lights. It will show us, yes, give me the green lights, and then I can take it back and actually read it. Is it holding the charge, or is it falling out, where it gives us the biofeedback numbers that we want your body to be resonating.
So what are the frequencies that you're using? What are they called? Like, is it?
We said delta frequency is a very low sedative, where our body is most relaxed. It's actually in the most restful state. So
Okay.
it's a very broad, like when you're sleeping, you're not dreaming, it's a very deep rest. We have theta frequency anywhere between 2.0 to 5.0. The thetas are like our REM cycle, that rapid eye movement. There's some dream state. We're processing and narrowing down, and our frequencies getting into an alpha, anywhere from 7 hertz to 14 hertz, is a very inward awareness, a very meditative place to be for ultimate healing. And then you have higher frequencies like a beta. It's a multi-stimuli, multi-processing, very high, where our levels, sometimes you just wake up and you want to get up and go, 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 go. It's that go, go, go. I got to do this, got to do that. Or after a cup of coffee. Then they have high gammas, and these are all the frequencies that our body should naturally transition through, and where we need to flow. And maybe, today is your day, and maybe it's not. So just depending on what your abilities are and where you're at psychologically, emotionally, whatever it is. If it is a pain or if it is a broken bone, it all just depends on the case and client specific.
So the benefits of this machine itself, the medical machine that you're using for the therapies, so what are the key benefits besides improving the cellular metabolism and for me was relieving some of the pains and discomforts I had in my body? What else can it do for you besides
like reducing pain and swelling, accelerate the healing process, reduce the inflammation, increase flexibility. It's a great tool for peak performance. Break it, if you have a strenuous workout and you want to get those small muscle tears repaired a little quicker to decrease that buildup. What am I thinking of?
Detox? I mean, like toxins?
A detoxification program. It can smooth and tighten skin. Overall, my clients come in with this, sense of well-being of, you're working on my shoulder, but I just feel happier. I feel, and I get a lot of those reactions, which is perfect. But TBI is especially really great for breaking through some of the traumatic brain injuries, arthritis, strains, sprains, you name it. There's no rhyme or reason not to be getting connected. But headaches, migraines, neuropathy, we can reactivate those nerves that have been sleepy and get that muscle memory back up and running. So it's just overall great instrument to use.
So how safe is this? Do you know? I mean, what's the status? What is the theory and the science behind this? How safe is it for the human body?
Safe?
Yes, safety-wise.
Safe? It's very safe. It's non-harmful. It was hard to understand that question. But safe, yes, it is very, very safe. And the contraindications are pregnancy. Okay. One, there's just not enough science behind it.
Okay.
So we need some guinea pigs. No, I'm totally joking. And that also being said, for example, I use this instrument quite often. If I was pregnant and had something going on, I would probably use the instrument. It's not like I'm starting something new while I'm pregnant.
Right, your body knows it.
I'll just leave that subject alone because of the science isn't behind it, but my intuition.
Sure.
Going forward, and it's something I already use and I already practice. I practice yoga every day, for example. So just depending on what you're already doing in your life.
Well,
the other contraindication.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry. Go ahead, please.
Is the pacemakers, just with that electrical already established inside. We don't want to throw off any numbers or things like that, and if we're not working with that cardiologist. So those are the only two. Otherwise, any human, any living creature, any age, any any specs. It's really, really safe to use across all levels. Haven't used it on plants, even though they are living creatures. So that's my maybe next step, grow some extra roots.
Well, I think that's sound advice, and I think being familiar with something that you've done for a while, because I know you've been doing this since the 90s, and you've been at least introduced to it since the 90s, and actively being a technician and helping people receiving
and learning,
it. Mm-hmm. So it's something that your body's familiar with, and I think it's like conditioning. It's like working out. The more you do it, the more conditioned your system becomes. I think it's the same with your nervous system. The more particular correct information you give the body will then stick to it for a longer period of time. So I think my next question was going to be, with that being said, how many sessions would the average person need?
One is better than none. Our expectations are, with results that we're given, is 3 consecutive sessions, and that's just for repatterning the body and getting through those pathologies that have been maybe implemented for a while, depending on person to person. Because I have even worked on, they say, chronic pain, chronic injuries, or longer, more invasive, maybe you've had a surgery, or you have had this for longer than a month, longer than 3 months, can take anywhere to 36 sessions. Now, I've had some clients respond really fast. They're pumping their body with a lot of really good nutrients, energies. They're circulating, they're hydrating, they get their exercise. So it is a tool. It's not meant to be a one-stop shop and I'm all better. It takes time for your body to get into these states. And it may take some time, too, to recorrect some of those things. But 1 to 3 sessions is definitely our expectations, is to feel better. And it's already starting a pattern in your body to feel better and heal itself by itself, because the energy is flowing.
And then you would do maintenance maybe once a month, correct? Like something like that?
Yeah, I have had a knee client, for example. We did 3 sessions. Great. Maybe it was about 8 months later. My knee, it doesn't feel totally right. Connected it. Feels great. Ran triathlons. I haven't heard from him again. So it just can be, up to the individual too. And depending on, what you're looking at. But going back to, that repetitiveness, I even find once I turn the instrument on, I get I think the brain knows what I'm around, and I feel better already just by starting it up to work on somebody else. It's that much good energy around it.
No, it definitely is something that I'm aware of now that I'm almost like on a maintenance. And there are times where I have a flare up and I'll see you maybe twice or 3 times in that week, just because I need to keep my body re-educated again. And I find that I'm able to go longer without having to see you. It seems like, without having so many issues. But I am grateful to have found you, because energy medicine is basically what we're talking about, everyone. Energy medicine has been around for a long time. I mean, a long time. She was talking all the way back to almost biblical times, Egyptian times. And, I mean, we're talking about things that, people are starting to understand maybe now. Energy medicine isn't just, ultrasounds and sonograms and, things like that. Energy medicine is beyond the MRIs and the CAT scan. It's also about, getting in touch with, your body in a way that, how does it function? And she's right. We're more electrical than we are chemical first. And
right. They diagnose us that way. They study our
everything.
muscles.
Yeah.
With
EKGs.
an EMG. They study our heart.
Yep. Everything.
They study our brains with the EEG. So we are diagnosed electrically, because that is away we are.
So we should be treating ourselves with energy, right? So if we're diagnosed with energy, we should be treating our bodies with some form of energy, because that's what is, if we can read our bodies through that, why can't we treat our bodies through that? It makes perfect sense.
We can.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we can.
So we're kind of, running short on time, and I want to kind of get your information out there for people to kind of reach out to you. And also, you guys, if you want your doctor to get something like this in their office where you can go to them directly and get, treated from your practitioner or your doctor, Kelly's available to train the facility in how to use this medical device that's actually approved to be used for treating pain and different types of issues. So, I want to make sure that Kelly gives you guys the information. I know she's got her Instagram and Facebook, Kelly Time on Instagram, and Kelly Nash Montone on Facebook. But what's your website they can reach out to?
Microcurrent electrotoxicologist.com.
So I will have that, guys, posted on my website, BeFit4health.com. She has an icon on there that you guys can just click onto and go to her website directly. It's BeFit4health.com with the number 4. And what's a good number to reach you at, Kelly?
808-485-9697. You can call me anytime. Leave me a voicemail, text message. I hope I can get to connect with you and answer any questions you may have. I want to say one thing.
Sure.
I really don't want guinea pigs. I am a fan of animals. I love them, and I don't believe I'm testing on them. So I
got you.
I have that in my mind right now. I'm excited to be here and share. I'm passionate about getting this information out. And yes, please take it to your doctors, take it to your practitioners, your physical therapist, your occupational therapist, your naturopath, whoever you see. It will complement any of the practices. Your veterinarian, please. There are alternatives out there, or maybe try this first instead of going down the road of chemicals and cutting and pasting.
Sure, try something that might work
that
naturally.
Being said, yes.
So
there are some options.
I was going to say, so, I'd love to bring you back on at some point again and go a little deeper into more of the science and what else it can particularly do for it. Let's pick a couple of ailments and then work with that and see how we can educate the public more on energy medicine.
Oh, Bianca, I'd be thrilled to come back. Thank you.
Sounds lovely. So, everyone, I know that you guys enjoyed this, and I know it went by quickly for me. I don't know for you guys, but it just flew by. But I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me on my first show. And welcome, and thank you for spending your weekend with me, because I know everyone has things to do, and early in the morning on a Sunday especially. But, I just want to say, you guys can reach out to me too. Go to my website, BeFit4health.com. You can go to my Facebook, Fit for Health, and my IG is BeFit4Health with the number 4. And if you guys have any questions and concerns, or if you guys want to reach out to Kelly as well through me, you guys are welcome to do that. I'm here for all of you. I know this is my first show, and I'm sure there's a lot of things I wanted to say I forgot, but I'll catch you guys on the next show. I'm bringing in some doctors next week, and we're going to be talking about some astaxanthin, and we're going to be talking about antioxidants and all that good stuff. So tune in for next week. I'm looking forward to it, and I wish you all the best, guys. Aloha.